Greetings, geeks and nerds. I'm Lady Universe and White Nerdy, and it's time for once again for a YouTube subscriber poll. As this was the one that won second place. Weird considering because the last time I did one of these with Power Rangers involved, one of the series I own in space won by a landslide. Kind of funny that this one didn't. Yes, we're going to be talking about Power Ranger Jungle Fury. And Power Ranger Jungle Fury was, excuse me, Mighty Morphin Zeo in space, Lost Galaxy. Mighty Morphin Mighty Morphin Zeo Turbo in space, Lost Galaxy, Lightspeed Rescue, Time Force, Wild Force, Ninja Storm, Dino Thunder, SPD, Mystic Force, Operation Overdrive. Jungle Fury was the 14th information into that. Be impressed that I can do that off a whim. I'm sorry that I forgot Turbo. No, I'm not. No, I don't like Turbo. Eventually, at some point, I'll review it here, but I'm just gonna warn people right now. I hate Turbo. With a vengeance. I really do. But enough about that. That's a rant for another day. But we're going to be talking about the 14th information Power Ranger Jungle Fury based off of the Sentai Geki Ranger in Japan. Jungle Fury was basically kind of like a resurrection. Most people are mixed about Mystic Force. Some people like it, some people hate it. But when Jungle Fury came out, it seemed to kind of like bring a flame back into the franchise long before RPM would ruin it. Then Samurai resurrected it. Then Megaforce and Super Megaforce destroyed it. Then Dino Charge resurrected it for a little bit. I don't know about Ninja Steel. And I know nothing about the last two seasons that we got. Don't know anything about Beast Morphers. Don't know nothing about Dino Fury. So, nope. Didn't see any of them. But we're going to be talking about the 14th information, which is Jungle Fury. Now, Jungle Fury, technically, in my opinion, kind of copies a little bit off of Ninja Storm. A tad. Just a tad it borrowed off of Ninja Storm, which I don't mind because I'm a big fan of Power Rangers Ninja Storm. It's one of my personal favorite seasons. But we're going to be talking about some Jungle Fury and eating some pizza. No, seriously. The pizza is a major plot point in the series. So, yeah. So, with that all said and done, we're going to be talking about Power Ranger Jungle Fury. So, if nobody had seen Power Ranger Jungle Fury and you clicked on this video, you might want to check out this series first. It is free to watch on the official Power Rangers, basically YouTube channel. So, you can go and check this series out right now for free. Nobody's stopping you. Or you can pick up the DVD, which I did, which I only paid, $15 for. Not bad considering. So, as such, why don't we join the Paitwa Academy, go and find our master who happens to really have a thing for pizza. More on that in a bit. And let's actually just talk about this series in general, starting with the plot, then breaking down each and every one of the characters. So, let's join the Paitwa army and see if we are one of the chosen three. This is my review of Power Ranger Jungle Fury. Let's start with the plot. Hidden within the mountains is an academy, known only as the Paitwa Academy, an academy of elite kung fu fighters that are destined to basically save the world. That is until, by accident, an immortal evil known only as Daishi is unleashed onto the world, and his evil will be non-stopped, as he basically kills the master right within 5 seconds. Lost and confused, the Rangers have to find their new master, and it's in a basically very unusual shape and form as he destines them to become the Power Ranger Jungle Fury. And together these Power Rangers must come together to save the world and against the forces of Daishi, otherwise the world and all of its hope will be gone forever. So can they accomplish their goal?
We summon the animal spirits from within! Power Rangers Jungle Fury!
Alright, I'll be honest. The plot is not really that special, to be fair. I mean, it's basically almost the plot that you would hear in any TV show. Somebody got possessed by an evil spirit, so now we have to end up saving their life. I mean, technically speaking, that's almost Colone's backstory from In Space. I mean, she wasn't possessed, not until later in the franchise, but when she was astronomer, she was technically brainwashed to become astronomer. Technically the same thing as basically being possessed by something. She was just possessed by an idea that she was the princess of destruction. Here with Daishi with Jared, it's a lot more complicated than that. Really, you have to check out the series to know what I'm talking about. But I do like Jared's character trait, as he was someone that was an ass. He basically was a jackass. He was an asshole to everybody. But then he began to realize his mistake of choosing the forces of evil over the forces of good. But I'm not going to spoil that for people because I really want you to see how Jared's story plays out in the series. Yes, Jared becomes possessed by Daishi, so it's kind of like a Two-Face or Jekyll and Hyde persona that sometimes it's Jared talking and sometimes it's Daishi talking. You have to pay very close attention to notice which one's talking. So the plot seems kind of, we've seen this before in Power Rangers, but it does have something special in it that not too many other series do, with a fun fact coming in later in this video. But with that all said and done, this series had something that the other didn't. One unique cast. No joke, I fell in love with this cast a lot more than I was actually anticipating to, as each and every character in this is very good in its own right. So, let's talk about the cast of the franchise, starting with Casey, played by Jason Smith. And when we first meet Casey, he's nothing more than a towel boy, but he has a protective instinct as he protects others when they're in harm's way, something notable of him. As Casey is one of the finest members of the team, he really had to own up everything that he could and become the best ranger that he could possibly imagine. As Casey is the new kid added onto the team, he's nothing more than that, a newbie. But of course he had to own up to a lot of weight that was put on his shoulders. And despite everything that Casey was put through, he still managed to come out on top because he knew that the Rangers needed him, and he was destined to become the mighty Red Ranger, and mighty he is. And we learned that Casey is one of the most kind-hearted Red Rangers. He actually has a lot of heart to him, but that makes him all the more memorable as a Red Ranger, as he's definitely worthy of the tiger. Lily, played by the beautiful and talented Anna Hutchinson. And we learned that Lily is basically the joker of the team. She's the one that likes to make the joke, she's the one that likes to be snarky, and she's also kind of a little bit of a smartass. And we learned that Lily is basically a dancer, and she does want to dance, and she loves to dance. Whether she was an experienced dancer, the series never really said, but she was a competitive one. While Lily's other teammates are kind and gentle, she's more of the sweet one, as she will do things and bend over backwards for people, not because they need her, but because she thinks it's the right thing to do. As on this team, Lily is nothing more than the sweetheart of the team, and that's exactly what this team needs, is a sweetheart to keep everything in control, and Lily is worthy of that. Then there's Theo, played by Elgin Albella. And one thing that we learn about Theo is that Theo is an overachiever, and that's very obvious as he was trying to be the best that he can be, especially in a martial arts school. Theo works on a schedule. He always has a schedule because he's trying to overachieve everything and do multiple things at once, with Theo never realizing that he can't do that. And while Theo tries to overachieve, he instead causes more harm than he means good, and of course that's only his fault because he's stressing himself out. But compared to the others, Theo is the most skilled out of them. While, yes, mostly he's the most stressed out, I will admit that he, upon the three, is the most skilled. But despite Theo always being an overachiever and trying to achieve the goals that nobody else can, he's honestly one of the best additions to this Ranger team, and he's one hell of a Blue Ranger. RJ, played by David De La Torre. Fun fact, David De La Torre was not supposed to be involved in this series. Instead, the role of RJ was supposed to be an epic comeback for the role of Adam Park, played by the great Johnny Gambot. Unfortunately, Johnny had to turn the role down because he was so busy with Bleach at the time, as it was still an ongoing series right next to Naruto and One Piece. So, they understood basically, Saban Entertainment or whoever was doing Power Rangers at the time understood his stress and relation and decided to make RJ a great addition to the team. But there is a little hint and tease mention of Adam right within the first episode. So it's pretty awesome. Yeah, it's unfortunate that Johnny Youngbotch couldn't have been the Purple Wolf Ranger, and also he was dicked over and returning in Power Ranger Dino Charge. Next to my favorite Power Ranger. Not letting that go. Never letting that go. But I have to say that RJ was a great addition into this team. And when we first meet RJ, we know that virtually nothing about him, but we were supposed to believe at the time that he was supposed to be the Ranger's new Polytwal Master. But underneath that weird hippie exterior of RJ lives inside of him a master, and one hell of a master RJ definitely is to these three youngsters. And RJ's teaching methods are pretty weird, but they all have something in common. They all teach a very valuable lesson, more toward later on in the series. As RJ might be that of a lone wolf, he still cares about his little cubs that came into his life, and he will do anything and stop at nothing in order to protect them and keep them safe. And he ends up doing so in the most awesome of ways by joining the team as the Violet Wolf Ranger. And it is glorious! And lastly, reading out the ranks is Dominic, aka Dom, played by Nikolai Nikolov. And we learn nothing about Dominic at first except that he was a wanderer. He comes back from a quest trying to figure out what he's supposed to do with his life, and of course, from wandering around the world. But we learn that Dominic is also one of the Paiswa, and he's also one of RJ's very best friends that he went to the Paiswa school with. And while Dominic might be that of a jokester, he means well. And while Dominic may have a tough exterior, underneath that tough exterior is the heart of a warrior. He knows that, but he just had to find his true purpose and his true calling. Which, because of his very protective instinct, his true calling was becoming that of a Power Ranger, no more and no less. If that's what his master had planned for him, then he made the right decision. Despite his weird methods and despite what goes on with Dominic, he is still one of the most powerful and also one of the most generous members of the entire team. As Dominic may be as powerful as Rhino, he is still the most kind-hearted of the team, but of course being the most powerful warrior, he definitely earns his ranks and earns his horns on the team.
Spirit! Unleashed!
Now I have to say something right off the bat, that while this series does, and I mean it does, have a very powerful start, a very amazing, basically, middle, or might well say climax, it has a very poor ending. As much like Power Rangers Mystic Force, the ending is anything but to be basically happy with. But Power Rangers Jungle Fury is still an amazing series. That, yeah, there are some parts of it that's flawed, it's still pretty beautiful, and it's one hell of an amazing series. And again, what really sold me was the cast. Surprisingly, that despite how the series might sound, it had an amazing cast that carried the weight upon their shoulders and did a wonderful job making this as good as they could. Right up until RPM, like I said, destroyed it. Then Samurai. Some people are mixed about Samurai. I think that it resurrected the Power Ranger franchise. Then Megaforce and Super Megaforce destroyed it. Then Dino Charge basically brought it back. Like, yeah, when you have just one bad season of Power Rangers like Turbo or Operation Overdrive or RPM, you can live with just having one bad season, unfortunately, back in the late 2010s, we got cursed with 2. Yeah, if I ever review Megaforce and Super Megaforce, prepared for me to yell a lot. But Power Ranger Jungle Fury, I definitely really do recommend it. If you want to think of this as a follow up from Power Rangers Ninja Storm, do that. It's a beautiful and well done series. And yes, while Power Rangers Ninja Storm is more about the mysterious and awesome ninjas, this series has to do with Kung Fu Masters. So basically, imagine a Karate Kid and Enter the Dragon having a baby, and then Kung Fu Hustle adopted it. That will give you an idea of just how also insanely ridiculous and also amazingly cool that this series is. So, if you have missed out on Power Rangers Jungle Fury, I recommend that you should give it a watch. It's amazing, it's spectacular, and while this was during the Disney we give up territory, it was still an amazing series worth watching. So, if you have to pick one basically Power Rangers Disney series worth watching during the tail end of the fuck it period, please do check out Power Rangers Jungle Fury, as it is nothing short of definitely amazing. It is one hell of a fury to watch, and also it's like a delicious piece of pizza. It might not look delicious at first, but once you take that juicy, delicious bite, you begin to realize that you were wrong in the first place. Guys, as always, thank you so much for watching. Be sure to like, share, comment, subscribe, hit that bell icon so you can be notified every single time that I make an upload. And let me know what you thought about Power Ranger Jungle Fury in the comments down below if you grew up with it like I did. And amazingly, I surprised a lot of people when I say that I grew up with this series, because they go, wow. Like, just, some people are just amazed that despite being so young, I missed that word. I did grow up with a lot of the Power Rangers series, and yeah, this one was one of the ones that did surprise me. Me and my best friend during when I was in 6th grade actually really were looking forward to this. But at first, we both were like, like the suits looked cool, but it didn't seem that awesome until we both began watching it and realized it was a lot better than we were actually expecting. So, was Jungle Fury a hidden gem for you like it was for me, or do you just plain hate it? Let me know in the comment section down below, and if you have a recommendation to a Power Ranger series that you'd like for me to review, the best way to do so is by telling me in the comment section down below, or by telling me over at Twitter with the link in the description down below. But anyways, I believe the universe, I want you to keep eking on. More YouTube subscriber poll time is ready, and we're going to enter into our last phase 2 of them. But for right now, just let me know if you want to see me do any more Power Ranger content. I'm just gonna wait and see if this one is as popular as my Power Ranger Dino Thunder review. That one has, as far as I know, at the time of this recording, over 2,000 views. That's nuts. But we'll just see if that happens with this one. I'd be very impressed if it does. But thank you guys so much for watching. I believe in your voice. I'm waiting to keep you getting on. And until next time, guys, and as always, take care.